Parshas Metzora Shabbos HaGadol, even though who calls it that? Shabbos HaGadol, Shabbos HaGadol. This week, the final Shabbos before the great Yom Tov of Pesach, and I'm sure that everybody here is preparing for Pesach in so many different ways, such a high spiritual Yom Tov with so much can be gained. And the question is, what we're going to speak about this week. Do we speak about the Parsha of Shavua? Do we speak about Shabbos HaGadol? Do we speak about Pesach? So we're going to try to actually focus on Pesach and a little bit about this Shabbos. And really, in a few days from now, already, we're going to have the Yom Tov of Pesach. Tomorrow night, Shabbos HaGadol, and just 2 nights later, Emir Hashem, every one of us will be sitting at the Seder on Pesach night. Those of our listeners and those of our viewers in Eretz Yisrael, and Baruch Hashem, we know there are many of them, but they have one Seder, and because it's hard to keep up with Eretz Yisrael also, so we have to have 2 Sedarim just to reach the level of one Seder in Eretz Yisrael. But in any case, it's just a couple of days away. And one of the big themes that we try to stress here over the past almost 15 years of this Nesivos Shalom Shir, one of the themes that we talk about all the time is that we ask everybody who's listening to our shir, and we ask everybody who wants to gain from this shir to be awake. We want people to be awake. We don't want to wake up one day and say, oh, what happened to Pesach? It's over. What happened to those 7 or 8 days, depending if you're in Eretz Yisrael or Chutz La'aretz? What happened? How did it just go by and we missed an opportunity? What we want is we want people to live in the moment and take full advantage of the Yom Tov, take full advantage of this gift of Pesach that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us. We want to gain everything that we can from the Seder night, from the entire holy, all the holy mitzvahs that we do on Pesach night. It's not just doing it by rote, doing it physically. There's so much behind it, and we want to be able to use it and take it with us. And tzaddikim tell us something very interesting. The Nesivos Shalom brings down that tzaddikim tell us a very powerful mimer, and they say like this, that Leil Shimurim, the night of the Seder, Hu Kemoi Yom HaKippurim. The night of the Seder is like the night or the day of Yom Kippur. And it's very interesting to note that throughout the generations, and everybody I'm sure can identify with this, throughout the generations, even those Jews who are unfortunately, they're unaffiliated, they're far, far from observing and the observant part of Yiddishkeit, even those Jews who unfortunately don't even know to keep mitzvahs, they're not close to Yiddishkeit at all. But when it comes to these 2 times, to the night of the Seder and the night and the day of Yom Kippur, for some reason, they're very connected. This Maimar, Leil Shimurim Hu Kemoi Yom HaKippurim, those 2 things, they're very similar in that way, that even if you're far from Yiddishkeit, even if you're not close yet, but you take a look, go around to the stores before Pesach, you'll see a lot of Yidden that you don't see a whole year. They're buying products for Pesach. They'll get together for a Seder night. They may even speak a little about our history of persecution, our history, Yetzias Mitzrayim, and these are people who have nothing, they have no connection to Yiddishkeit, Kemat, whatsoever. But on the Seder night, and on Yom HaKippurim, they treat that with great respect. And there's of course a great reason for that. Why is it just these 2 times? Every Jew, every person, when it comes to these 2 times, you feel the awesomeness in the air. You just feel it. You know it's there. We know that on both of these times, on the night of the Seder and on Yom Kippur, one of the things that we do both of those times is we wear a kittel. We wear a kittel, we wear white on Yom Kippur, and we wear a white on the Seder night. Because it says in Nesivos Shalom, the color white represents a clean and a new slate. It represents starting again. Every other color has something done to it, right? It's been dyed. You take a fabric, you want to turn it into a color, it has to be dyed. The color white is on its own. The color white is clean, it's new. White represents what these two times, Yom Kippur and Pesach, the Yom Tov that's coming right up, white represents what these two times are to every one of us. And you know what that is? At these times, the night of Pesach and on Yom Kippur, we rise again. Every person has the power, the koyach, to renew themselves. That we have the power to change whatever we are and whatever we were before. When it comes to the night of Pesach in a couple of days, we can change. But it says in Nesivos Shalom something very interesting and something that we have to keep in mind. So both on Yom Kippur and on Pesach, we know that it has the power. We have the power to renew ourselves. We have the power to be new. We have the power to become, to raise our level, to become new people. But it says in Nesivos Shalom there's a very, very interesting difference. On Yom Kippur, we reach those levels with something called Isarusa de Lasata, where the effort and the impetus for change comes de Lasata. It comes down here on this world where we, the people, have to work on ourselves. Tshuva, we do tshuva. Rosh Hashanah we have, then we do have S.S.S. tshuva. We have Yom Kippur, so we have to work. We do tshuva, and we do tshuva all over the Yom Naroim, and therefore we become new people with our work, with the work. Rosh Hashanah, S.S.S. tshuva, Yom Kippur. Wow, you know, we feel like when we come out of Yom Kippur, but we put in a lot of work. And in order for Yom Kippur to feel right, you have to do and put in your time, your work, and then Hashem responds and you get a kapara. But on Leil Pesach, says in the Nesivos Shalom, it's different. It's a very, very special thing. The way we become a new person, a clean white slate on Leil Pesach is different than it is on Yom Kippur. It's not necessarily through the things that we do. It's through something we call Isarusa de La'ela. Yom Kippur was de Lasata, where us people on this world, we, the people, have to do something. But on Pesach night, it's Isarusa de La'ela, where Hashem is here to do the work for us. How do we know that? We know by the time of Yetzias Mitzrayim, Klal Yisrael was on a very, very low level. Klal Yisrael was in the Memtes Shari Tuma. We were 49, and there are only 49 levels down. And we were down on the bottom level. Yet, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in his tremendous, tremendous chesed and tremendous love that Hashem has for Klal Yisrael, Hashem redeemed us, took us out of Mitzrayim, and not only that, He called us the loving term, B'ni B'chayri Yisrael. Can you imagine? We're down 49 levels, Memtes Shari Tuma, we're all the way down, we're almost falling off the earth, if we go down one more level, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm going to take you out of Mitzrayim, and not only that, B'ni B'chayri Yisrael, my firstborn, my beloved nation, my beloved people, my children of Klal Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that when we clearly did not deserve it, we were down, all the way down, as we said, in the Memtes Shari Tuma. It's a love that Hashem had for us at that time without looking at the revolving and surrounding circumstances. Hashem did it for us just because He loves us as His chosen nation and as His children. And says in the Nesivos Shalom, that love that Hashem had for us at Yetzias Mitzrayim, we have that same exact thing. It comes around every year. Pesach night, we receive that same credit. We receive that same light. We receive that same love from HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single year at this time. Where his chachas we have and we receive on Pesach by the Seder night, when you're sitting there by the Seder, it's given to us with great love from Hashem, even if we really or technically do not deserve it. We're not holding there yet. We want to do something. It's in our mind, it's in our heart, but we haven't been able to act on it yet. Hashem sees that. And Hashem loves us. And that's the difference between Yom Kippurim and the white that we wear and that we have at the Seder on Pesach. Without regard to where we're actually holding in life, Kadosh Baruch Hu loves us and He cares about us and He's ready to give us everything that we want. We have the capacity to attain a clean slate on Pesach from Hashem, even if we really don't deserve it. Where Hashem says to us, S.S.S. al kanfei nisharim. Hashem is talking to us. He says, I'm going to lift you up on an eagle's wings. I'm going to lift you up. Even if you're not ready, I'm going to take you and jump over everything. I'm going to lift you up to a different level. The pasuk, when we're speaking about al kanfei nisharim, the pasuk in Tehillim, the Nesivos Shalom brings down, the pasuk in Tehillim says, Tischadesh kanesher nu'urachi, where we renew ourselves kanesher, like an eagle. So the Nesivos Shalom brings from a Rav HaKadosh Mibarditchev, Zechus HaYogan Aleinu, and he says that if you look at an eagle, just as an eagle, when it gets older, you know what happens to an eagle? It sheds its feathers. Just a fact of nature. That's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a bird, an eagle, that it sheds its feathers and it grows new ones. So what we say, what David HaMelech is saying, Tischadesh kanesher nu'uraichi, a word of confidence. Hashem, we've done things. We've been places. We're not as good as we want to be. Let us also, even though we're getting older, let us, when we get older, shed those outer feathers. Let us shed those things so we could grow new and we could look like and we can be different people. And we could begin growing the new, quote, feathers, meaning that we grow a new surrounding all around us. We grow with a new, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us siyata d'shmaya to become different people. That's tischadesh kanesher. We want to be able to just shed all the old things and all other things that we've been doing over the years. And the kittel that we wear on the Seder night points out to us that lesson. That we have the capability, we have the ability when it comes to Pesach, where we're totally white. We have a totally new slate. Let every one of us take advantage of this time of Pesach. It requires just a couple of days. We have a few days left. Prepare yourselves. Look a little bit. Learn a little bit about Pesach. Learn what it could do for you. When you're at the Seder, concentrate on that for a few minutes. That I see white all around me. We're wearing white. I want to become a better person. I want to become a new person. And if you want, even if you don't deserve it, that's what Pesach is all about. In Mitzrayim, Hashem skipped over everything and gave us everything that we need. Hashem is ready to do the same thing for us right now. So everybody that's listening to this shir, we're going to be awake. We're not going to wake up after Pesach and say, oh, I missed another opportunity. Everybody should have a Chag kosher v'sameach. We should have a spiritually uplifting Yom Tov. And we want to, people asked us tonight that this week's shir should be a schus for Rabbi Sanders, the dean and founder of Beis Tova, Rabbi Sanders, who needs our tefillos. He should talk to have Refuah Shalema, and everybody together have a wonderful and beautiful uplifting Yom Tov of Pesach.